Okay, before I start, I would like to ask you a question. Is there a need for me to speak on English? Okay, then disregard the question. Yeah, you're welcome. First of all, I would like to thank you all for joining today's lecture. I know this is a kind of sponsored lecture, but I will try to give you some value at the end because we are talking about Scrum values. And as we all know, each Scrum event is a kind of time box, so we have like a really strict deadline to let's say, sorry. Did you know that the fear of the public speaking is one of the biggest fears in the world? Yeah, and I can tell it never gets easy, you know, like you get used to it, but sometimes, you know, you miss the words, so I'm sorry for that. Since I'm not native English speaker, if you see me like struggling, just give me some support, like in the claps, etc., so I will appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so we are here to talk about, I will present you a bit my company, but what I want to present to you is my experience, like how you can take the Scrum values and try to incorporate them into your life and into your leading the company. First of all, my name is SIMO VULETA, and I come from the company called Prodina. So it's not Prodina, I know that some people wanted to ask questions. It's not Prodina or whatsoever. It's an acronym of the two words, professional dynamics. I would like to briefly tell you how today's lectures is going to be. So I divided this into three sections. Like first one, I will give you a short intro about myself, about Prodina, and I will try to give you an intro about the values. Afterwards, we're going to talk about values in general, and we're going to focus how we can use the Scrum values, these fives, into the daily business, like, and how we can try to get out of our daily business dealing with projects and actually take a company to be your project. And afterwards, we're going to have like some Q&A session, and I will really try to be brief and allow you to come first to lunch. So this is my promise. It will not take longer. As we know, like events in Scrum are time boxed, so I will try to stick it to that. Yes, there is a reason why I chose this suit. It's like so that people can recognize me. And my colleagues actually reminded me that I should change my picture on a match about. I remember myself, well, I would say almost 10 years ago, and I was sitting next to you. And I was thinking, oh my God, how would it be good like that I have sometimes an opportunity to speak to the crowd, to share my experience, but I never felt like I have enough to share. And this is in general, let's say, the problem of all of us. We all have something to share, but it's important to actually give it a structure and to present it in the most valuable way. I started in Prodina 7 years ago, and I started as a software engineer, and I kind of built my way up. There were some hard times, I have to say, and since I was, let's say, the only one with the technology at the beginning, and there were some people that actually supported me on my way. And one of them is actually sitting there. It's my colleague, Vladimir. Thank you, Vladimir, for that. There were some times that I was actually struggling, like, should I stay here, should I not? I don't have the projects. I don't feel the value in the company. Like, what can I do more? But Vladimir was telling me, hey, Simo, be patient. You're like, you are a quality guy. You will build your way up. So, and I'm really grateful for that. I think you met him. Like, he's a really handsome guy, I think. Yeah, so 7 years ago I started as a first .NET engineer in the company. Prodina was known as a consulting company, and in Prodina when you say consultant, it means a Java engineer. And it took me some time actually to build, to fight against these things and to build the team around me. 3 years ago I was given an opportunity to step up and to take the lead of the company, and I have to say, let's say by honoring the Scrum values and having the courage to do it, I did it. And today I'm now I'm standing here with you and trying to share this experience with you, sorry. So, as I told you, Prodina is a consulting company, and we are across Europe in 6 countries. We started originally in Frankfurt, where 4 visionaries let's say, gathered together, and they decided to bring some value to their customers and use their experience to bring something more. We were let's say, doing a really good job, and we were expanding a lot, and then we expanded all over Germany. Afterwards, it was a natural expansion to Austria and Switzerland. And then there was the need to hire really smart people in Serbia, and that's why we started here. It was 10 years ago. Afterwards, first we opened a Belgrade office, and our head office in Serbia is in Belgrade. Afterwards, we expanded to UK market and to Greece. So we have divided our business into nearshoring business, like Serbia and Greece, and we have on-site business with all the other countries, and we're trying to get the clients there. I have to say I'm especially proud that I have a chance last Friday to officially open our Novi Sad office as well. So we are expanding in Serbia, and we are having some kind of organic growth. Prodina at this moment, we are counting over 360 employees all over the countries, and Serbia is one of the biggest ones. We are close to 100, which I'm really especially proud of. Like every other company, we all have the missions and the visions. So what is the mission of Prodina? Like navigating the digital future together. And I really like to use this opportunity to thank my designer team for creating this really cool spaceman. I have to say it's kind of a trademark for us. As you've seen, like we have a mission, but we have our values as well. And I think, like in life, we are all driven by values. And we are not talking only about the job. We are all in different roles, in different setups. Like at home, you are like maybe father, husband, brother, or whatsoever. But there is something unique, like the values that are your driver. The companies recognize it. I mean, they are led by people, and they decided, okay, why don't we put our values on our website so that the people that want to apply for us, they know what we stand for. And all the major companies did it. You all know, like every organization in the world, they have values on their website that are transparently showing what they value the most. Like other companies, Prodina has its values as well. I don't know like how many of you have followed the Prodina social accounts, but if you are not following, please follow it. And on the pictures, you can see a lot of Teamgeist, and this is something that we are especially proud of. This is not just a literal translation of German word team spirit. It's literally something that you feel when you walk through the halls of the office, when you have the support on the projects, when you are running a marathon and your colleagues are there at the end, like giving you a claps and supporting you. Come on, you can do it. And this is something that we are especially proud of. Afterwards, as a software engineer, you love your job, obviously, since you've chosen that, not just for money. I mean, money is like just a result. It's important to be curious, and one of our values is be curious, follow the technology, and try to be on top. Be brave. When you have an opportunity to do something more, do it. So we will find somebody to support you. It's important to step up. Think positive. At the end, I mean, we are all doing something and we are thinking positive, and this is the core thing for all of us. Like, if you're gonna start doing something and we don't think positive about it, we should not start doing it at all, because it is destined to fail. Because where the focus is, that thing actually grows. And at the end, as a service company, we are all focused on results, because we have the returning customers based on our results, and this is something that is really important while dealing in the business. But today we are not here to talk about just Prodina values and in general, let's say about, I don't know, Red Cross or whatsoever. We are talking about the Scrum values and how we can use them in our daily business. As I already told you, I started my career in Prodina as a software engineer. And I have to say, at sometimes it was really hard, because the people that were selling the service, they did not understand that what I do is not much different than what people with Java do. It's literally the same. It just depends like what is the setup with the client. And it was really hard for me to understand, hey guys, like whatever you can do with Java, you can do with .NET. And especially we started with this golden era of .NET when Microsoft decided to ditch this connection to only Windows development and to start with the .NET Core, and when it opens itself to the other platforms. And we starting building up the team. Why is this important at this moment? Whenever you work, it's important that you surround yourself with the people that you can trust. and with the people that believe at the same value like you believe, and that are committed to the same goal. You know, I mean, a lot of people from here are actually from my company. I didn't force them to come, so. So I started my team with these three persons next to me. We try to show, let's say, our uniqueness. We try to show our strength. And this was like an ugly Christmas shirt competition in the company. So obviously we decided, me as a team lead, I was a Santa, and the other people were my little helpers. We were all committed to the same goal, bring something new to the company. And we are still here. What is important, all of these persons, they're still in the company and they followed my progress. So when I became a unit lead, some of them became team leads. When I became a COO, some of them became unit leads and started a new technology. Why is that? Because we were committed to the same goal. And this is something that we are trying to pass towards the younger generation to understand. Values are important, commitment is important. We all had offers to go out of the company and to take more money or whatsoever. But I have to say, for this perspective, money is not everything in life. Like if you ask for money, money is always only thing you will get. And if you ask for something more, to bring some value somewhere else, this is something, reward will come at the end. If you're talking about the other values, the focus is one of the most important ones. I will actually try now with you to do some exercise that is okay with you, just to be a bit, you know, like interactive presentation. I will show you now a picture, and I would like to ask you if you can focus yourself, like, and count all yellow objects on the picture, and count them. Okay, how many yellow objects did you count? 10. Okay, how many red objects did you count? You see, like, where your focus is, the results are there. And this is in general something that I actually noticed in my experience. Sometimes there are hard times, but if I focus myself on the bad things will happen. If I start at one moment thinking, oh my God, I will get fired, this is something that will definitely happen. Because I am doing, let's say, them a favor, and my focus is there. Like, what can I do wrong? If I'm focused on positive thing and say, hey, it's a hard times, I will make it. Let us focus on the positive stuff. Let us build the value together, and this is something that will actually be valued afterwards. This is what it grows. In my company, they know me as the guy that likes to speak these metaphoric stories, and I have two at this moment for you. First one is about one famous master that was giving his lecture in some high mountains. And there was one disciple that decided to go there and learn the teachings from his master. Many generations of the student passed, and he was not able to adapt his lectures. At one moment, he was really fed up with everything, and he approached his master and said, hey, master, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Like, a lot of people come here, they go, they embrace what you do, but I cannot do it. And the master started thinking, he said, come tomorrow, I will show you. The next day, apprentice came, the master put him in one room and said, okay, what do you see in this room? And then the guy said, I see the black dot there. And the master said, this is the reason why you are not making progress. You are always focused on the single imperfection that you see. You haven't noticed that we painted our walls into white, but you noticed that we missed one spot. And this is the reason why you are not, where your focus is. You're focused only on negative stuff. And this is why. So this is a really nice story, I have to say. And I really like to, let's say, repeat it over and over because it can teach us a lot about, let's say, this focus stuff. The other story that I would like to talk about, I don't know how many of you have heard about the story of the battle of two wolves inside. Okay. It's a really nice story, and I have to say, like, I really love it. So the story goes, there are some different versions, so sorry if I'm not speaking yours. So there was an old guy, a grandpa, and he was playing around with his grandson. And at one point, grandson asked the grandpa, hey, grandpa, you are smart, you are wise. Like, can you explain a bit, like, what is life all about? And grandpa started thinking about saying, okay, I will explain it to you. So, life is a constant battle between two wolves. One, it's the white wolf. It's the one that takes all the good values, love, honor, respect, and all the good stuff. And the other one is a black wolf, the one that has, I don't know, like envy, hate, and all the bad stuff. And then the grandson started thinking like, okay, but grandpa, which wolf wins? And the grandpa told them, okay, the one that you actually feed the most. And this is all about focus, people. So if you are working, if you are doing a multitasking, sometimes you lose your focus. It's really hard, like you start doing something, somebody jumps into your door, he wants to talk to you, he wants to do that, he wants to do that. Some client comes and he has some different priorities, and sometimes you lose focus. But it's important to surround yourself with people that will challenge you. It's important that you actually find the people that share the focus with you, that share the vision with you and the same commitment. And this was, let's say, partially that's why my previous team was successful. But it's important, like all over your experience, you will face some hard times. And this is definitely the truth. So if it's easy, it's not interesting. So this is kind of, like a story. And what it's important, like if you are too focused on just, let's say, reaching something out, don't forget to enjoy and have fun, because this is all about. Like we spend most of our lives at work, and this is literally statistically, most of our lives we are at work. And wouldn't it be a waste of your life if you are always under the pain or whatsoever? Enjoy the ride. And this is something that you, even when there are hard times, take your team, go out, drink a coffee, drink a beer or whatsoever, only one, and then you come home at 3 o'clock like being dragged. So, but in general, have some fun on the way. This is important because, I mean, you work to get money, you don't work for money, so you're not their slave. Okay, so what happened to me was a really funny story I will share with you. So I joined the company and my team started growing, and you receive a lot of different individuals in your team, like you interview them, etc. Some of them are good, some of them are exceptional, but in general, they're all different. At one point, since my role was changing over the time, when I became a COO, one guy approached me and said, "Simo, I cannot be a friend with you anymore." And I said, "What? Like, why? I mean, like, we were having a really nice time, like, doing all the stuff together. Why?" He said, "Sorry, you are my boss. I cannot be a friend with boss." And like, this hit me, like, I was thinking, like, okay, maybe this is the pattern of the behavior in the Balkans, like, and that the people actually are afraid to speak to their supervisors, and that they are afraid, maybe the supervisors are not open enough to receive some feedback. And what is important, like in all career that I mentioned, if you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. So, as I told, like, you need to surround yourself with people that will challenge you, that think differently. They are not doing that because they hate you. They are doing that because they are focused as you are. They are just having different perspective. Regarding the openness, how can you nurture in the company your openness? There are some really nice techniques that can support you with that, and this is the technique of feedback. How many of you have heard about feedback? I assume, let's say, majority of you. Can somebody tell me, like, what is the feedback by your opinion? Anybody? Okay, I can, let's say, try to explain. You know, like, I mean, most of you knows, but when you go to the hairdresser and they like cut your hair and then they take this mirror and show you behind. So the purpose of the feedback is to show you your blind spot. And this is the reason. So sometimes we are super focused and we are not paying attention to details. And we are thinking that we are doing everything correct. But it's not important what we think. It's important what is the effect that we make on people. And what are our decisions, how they influence the people around us. And this is the true feedback. And the great leader, they know that. And they value the feedback within their organization. So we all say, like, yes, we embrace the culture of open door, etc. But is this really the case? I mean, if you take a look at the other companies in Serbia that are not IT companies, it's not the case. You cannot, let's say, you cannot say something different than the person that is in charge of you. how can we actually foster this like feedback in your company? For example, if you have some problem, you actually come and ask people, okay, what do you think? Like how we can do it better? Surround yourself, as I told, with the smart people that can support you. And as a leader, like Simon Sinek said, like leaders eat last. You be the one giving your opinion last. Why it's important? I mean, maybe you don't follow me, but as I told you, like in Balkan, we are let's say we know this like a strong hand of ruling, etc. And this is something like to the generations, like from Tito and even now, it's like you need to have a strong leader that you should not actually think differently than him. This is not the way if you want actually to make a good culture in your company. So when you are in a meeting, be the last one to speak, because you have smart people and you need to actually nurture this, give them a chance to give their opinion. And this is something that will actually differ you from all the other persons. If we're talking about the feedback, there are different types of feedback, but I will just focus at this moment only on two. So first one is destructive feedback. This is the feedback that nobody likes, and it's pointless. With this feedback, you can just lose the people, and you will not gain their trust and support. Why? This feedback is usually given on a personal level. So somebody comes to you and said, "You're stupid." It's like, okay, but what can I do with that? Like, what can I support? What can I do better? You haven't given me any action, any clue. And this is the way to demotivate people and actually put them off the focus, and you will lose them in a short time. The other way of feedback is constructive feedback. And this is something that each company that takes care of itself should nurture. So embrace this. Talk about the situation. Give them the solution. Said, hey, this was the situation. Maybe it could be like better if we did it like this. Maybe it would be better if we did it like this. Think about it. Give them the solutions. Give them the possibility to understand where they did wrong and how can they actually make some things better. Okay. One of my most important ones is the respect. There was one smart Greek guy that literally said this, like, there is a reason why you have 2 ears and only 1 mouth, is so that we can listen more and talk less. And this is one important thing that I learned about the leader. When I became a CEO, obviously I thought, yes, I'm the smartest one. I need to do everything. Everything needs to be like I say. But this is not really the case, because in order to understand what's happening anywhere, you need to listen. When some colleague approaches you, you don't know what is he dealing with. You cannot make a judgment straight away. Listen to him before you say anything. And this is something that led me so far. I mean, obviously, I made some mistakes, and I will definitely make the mistakes in the future. But because sometimes, as I told you, it's really hard to stay focused. And sometimes only like if you are not feeling well personally, it kind of affects your job. And you cannot be at the top notch all the time. But in general, show the respect to the colleagues. It's important, like where you're doing it software, there is something in IT called like a fresh mind. So we are like a seniors, we know everything, but sometimes we forget some basics, and sometimes this over-engineering that we are doing can actually lead us to some different ways than the ones that we want to go. Sometimes these juniors that are approaching you, listen to them. They have ideas. Even if their idea is wrong, then give them constructive feedback. Tell them, hey, I really appreciate that you're actually thinking about the problem. We tried that. Have you tried this one maybe? Try or this way or whatsoever. Just give them a chance and show them respect. It doesn't matter what your role is. It doesn't matter what your seniority is. Respect is something that you need to nurture in your company. Okay, so the final value, and I have to say this is something like if I take a look at my career, this is something that I had a lot in both ways, so in a good way and in a bad way. We all know that in general growth is outside of the comfort zone, and it takes courage to step out of the comfort zone, and this is where the magic happens. I will share 2 stories now with you from my personal experience, so they are not stories about a monk on the mountain or whatsoever. In my previous company, I was brought to start a .NET team. And I started there, and I had a clear vision. I knew what I want to achieve. We started bidding for some projects, and my team was me, one senior engineer that has like twice as much experience as I had, and one junior colleague. And we estimated a small project with the technology that we are not familiarized with, let's say 3 months. It was a really, really simple project that in a manner we overestimated, just to be safe. What happened? We got the project. We went there, it was a Swiss client, we fought like lions, they were surprised, and we starting project, my senior leaves the company. And I'm thinking like, this will affect everything, but let me try to be brave and let me show courage, you know, we will do it, we'll show this commitment and everything, like let's do it together. And the CEO of that company, he brought in another junior. He said, yeah, she's really smart, she will really, really fast come into the processes, etc. So we started development, we continued development, and at one point, like my role was like, okay, I need to develop something, but plus, beside that, I need to develop the people, and I need to show them how to do a clean code or whatsoever. But at one point, you just don't have enough time for everything. Then I started pulling magic tricks. So I need to go to demo with the client, and I show him only the optimist scenario. So nothing more, nothing outside of it. And we fixed the values before that. And the client was like, oh my God, you are doing such an amazing job. But in the back, I was like thinking, oh my God, like how am I gonna do this? And the project started going, and the team started doing overtime. And at one point, last month, instead of, I don't know, like working 40 hours a week, we worked, I would say, like 200 hours a week. We started working during the weekends, like the entire day, just that. Because I was thinking that I was brave and that I have the courage, like we'll do it, we are committed fully, we all want to bring the value to the company and to the client. What happened? We did deliver, and I have to say, let's say, if you take out the circumstances, we missed the deadline only by 2 days. So we were supposed to deliver it on Friday, we delivered it on Sunday. But what happened? The code was really shit. Like, not a sign of a clean code. I had like a general error handling, so I just take the error that happens and show something went wrong. What happened? Nobody knows. It doesn't matter, you know. And at one point, the team was really, really tired. Really tired. Everybody was burnt out. What happened afterwards? I got fired. I was thinking like, yes, I'm brave, I'm committed, I will show the value. But I was not brave. At this moment, I can say I was not brave. I was really stupid and I was like blind. I was thinking like we are doing everything. And I know from this perspective, the client was smart enough to listen to us, to say, hey guys, the situation changed. And this is something that affects delivery. We have now a young team. We need to have time to set up everything. Just please take this into consideration. But I didn't do that because I was not, let's say, experienced enough, and I would say, stubborn enough to go and push it to show my worth. So this is a really bad story. The other story is like my current story. As I told you, so I built my way up from the bottom, you know. And when I joined the company, I mean, Vladimir, out of all other colleagues, can confirm, I started as a .NET and I had project only for 9 months. After 9 months, my client approached me, offered me a deal to go there. I said no. I really like the people that I was working with, and let's say if I compare the lady that was leading the company back then and the guy that was in my previous company with the experience that I showed you, I really loved working with her. I said no, this is my surrounding. I want to make it here. Afterwards, there was one project. I worked project with Java. I worked project with some technologies that I haven't been working with. And it took courage, and I needed to follow the Prodina values, be brave. I did it. But at one point, like, we didn't have even more Java projects. And I said, okay, how can I bring value? Like, what can I do more? I really don't want to leave. Because the people that are there, they're supporting me, and this is not something that I was feeling all my life. And I said, okay, why don't I take over the Scrum? So I will be the one that will do the Scrum trainings for all interns in the company for Serbia and Greece. And this is what I did. Even now, like that I'm a CEO, I still do it because I like it. Like, I like to go there. I like to, let's say, show them how the things could be done. And what is important, management recognized this, what I did. And by showing the courage and commitment to the goal, I was rewarded and with. And I have to say, like, when I was young developer, I was always looking for the perfect setup somewhere. But what I realized during my experience is not about the setup. Setup can be changed. You need to find the people that support you, that believe in the same things, that share the values. That's why all those values that I showed you about Prodina values, these are the keys that we are having on our job interviews. So we need to ask the questions like if the people can understand the value that we are bringing to them, and they do understand like what we ask from them. And this is something that is important. So money can come and go, but if you really believe something, if you are bringing the value and something brings value to you, then this is a really good match. Okay, I think, I don't know what happened with click. Yeah, this is it regarding what I prepared. Do you have any questions? Okay. We will check now on Match About. Do we have some questions?
We can ask.
Yeah, you can ask.
I would like to ask one question. First of all, thank you for this inspiring speech. It's really great. I believe that people who are working in your organizations are really happy. And I would like to ask you, in hard times, how do you find the inspiration to promote and to nurture these values? Do you have any role model that inspired you to be where you are now?
Well, that's a good question. Thank you. When there are hard times, I always look into the eyes of my team, and I see the hope in their eyes. And this is something that I really don't want to lose, and this is something that I really want to nurture. I have to say, from the people that I look up to, it's our previous CEO, Hussein. He taught me a lot, and I like his rules. What he taught me. He said, like, Simo, if you have people that know what they need to do, you don't need to make any rules. So if the organization has a lot of rules, that means that something is wrong. Don't get me wrong, like you need to have processes, etc. But in general, you don't have to tell to the smart people what they need to do. And I was like thinking, how is that? You need to point and say, no, they know what to do. So I would have to say one of my, let's say, heroes is him. Yeah. No. I think I was clear, so there are no questions. Anybody else? Yeah.
So you mentioned the beginnings and how the Scrum was implemented in the company, and now after several years, can you make an overview? What went well, what was not so well, where you made progress compared to the beginnings?
Have you heard the question? No, it's okay. For example, if I can compare, let's say, from the beginning and now, the people come and go, what are the things that happen good or bad with Scrum and the Scrum organization? You know what they say, the strength is not in the knowledge, it's in the way you use knowledge. So I can talk to people, I can show them Scrum Guide, I can show them the values, but how they adapt it, this is something different. This is something that I cannot directly influence how they understand. We all use Scrumish. It's kind of, Scrum is like some other, let's say, methodologies, learning in life, I don't know, like religion or whatsoever. If you take the core out of it, it's noble. It's all about the same goal, same focus. Even like with the religion, do good. Don't do to the other person that you don't want him to do it to you. But what do? We are people, we are imperfect. So we actually tend to misunderstand stuff, not to act openly, etc. And I have to say, it's really hard to follow the values of Scrum. It's not easy. And you can always improve. But what's important, beside values, there are pillars as well, like transparency and inspection, adoption. So you need to inspect yourself. What do I do, for example, with my career? Every year I draw the line and say, okay, these are the expectations of my role and where I am with the skill set. But you need to be open to yourself. Say, hey, I'm perfect. You're not. So how can I make progress? And this is with Scrum. We need to actually make a true look into our eyes. Like, is this the thing that we do? What hits me the most is like people, for example, developers. They all go through the Scrum training, and then they go and they accept not to work by the principles and values of Scrum. And they say, they haven't told me, but that's the point of Scrum. Self-organized teams, isn't that the way? I mean, if you're talking about the perfect Scrum team, it's without Scrum Master. There is no need from Scrum Master. So they are like literally self-organized. If you're talking about about the perfect world. And this is it. So we tend to spoil everything. So
We will be fired after your speech. Scrum Masters.
Do you use lean methodology? I mean, in Prodina?
it depends from client to client, I have to say. Sometimes we are able to use Scrum. Sometimes we adapt it with Kanban. Sometimes we try to do whatever it's needed. You know, it has different ways, like how you can implement it where. It depends from the client.
But I mean, like the combination of the Scrum and the lean, because the point is to reduce the waste of, so for example, we don't want any developer to do something which is not necessary for the product. I mean, to eliminate waste, which is very, important in general. So do you combine them, or you just use either Scrum or lean?
You always try to actually implement everything the best. You know? Even in Prodina, we now got out with our own, let's say, way of working with the project. It's called experience-driven development. And this is the way where we combine this. So we divided working with the clients into 3 different sections. First one is the one where we are doing requirements engineering, client paths, and creating some small MVP. Because the client at that time can actually say if that is the waste or not. And it can act on let's say, a really fast time to say, okay, I don't want to waste anymore. This doesn't bring me value. The second stage is a development stage. You are starting, you are introducing now more technical people, talking about what are the concrete technical tasks that you need to do. You're going into the details, thinking about the environment of the client, thinking about not just technical environment, but the environment of people, if they understand stuff there whatsoever. And then the third one is development. So when you come to actually developing, everything is clear and you don't have the waste of time of misunderstanding. So we do try to do it. We don't name it lean plus Scrum, but we definitely try to do it. But sometimes, some clients, they demand only a fast project for you. They don't care about everything. They only care about delivery. Some of them, they want to be involved. And this is something that you should nurture, to keep people involved so they understand and they can make fast decisions. Okay, anybody else? Okay, then, thank you and enjoy your lunch then.